Good morning, Carson crew. Happy Thursday. It's the second day of April. April 2nd. Today is Thursday. If today is Thursday, what was yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. And what will tomorrow be? Tomorrow will be Friday. Favorite day. I'm so glad the sun is out. I hope you guys are doing well and able to get out a little bit. I have our coins and our clock. If you want to tell me what these coins equal and what time that clock says. All right, and if it's that time and we're doing word work or getting ready to go to lunch, would that be AM or PM? All right, I have the next chapter of our book. I'm loving this book. Spectacular Stone Soup, chapter 4. It was Wednesday. Today we'll give out the invitation, said Mrs. Zachary. Stacy was glad Tuesday was over. She was glad everyone had forgotten the pencil sharpener business. Everyone but her, Stacy Arrow. Mrs. Zachary had snapped the sharpener together. 1, 2, 3. What a mess, she had said. She shook her head at Stacy. Stacy hated it when Mrs. Zachary shook her head. She hated it most when Mrs. Zachary was shaking her head at her. Right now, Stacy pulled out her invitation, her brown and green invitation. She clicked her teeth. She looked over at Robert. She shook her head at him. Robert was a real pain. He had ruined her invitation. Robert wasn't paying attention to her, though. He was scribbling all over his paper. Her orange point was flat. Oh, remember? She lent Robert her orange crayon. She shook her head harder. Up in front, Mrs. Zachary was speaking. Everyone in Miss Rooney's class will be so surprised. Stacy ducked her head. Not everyone was going to be surprised. No siree. Her sister Emily was in Miss Rooney's class, and Emily was not going to be surprised. Not one bit. Emily was a good guesser. Too good. Stacy had slipped a little. What do you think that means? Do you think she slipped on the floor and fell? Or do you think she slipped and gave some details about what they're doing? She had told Emily there was a surprise. What kind? Emily wanted to know. I'm not telling. Stacy put her hand over her mouth. Pretty please, said Emily. It was hard to keep such a good surprise, Stacy thought. Sharing. She kept her hand tight on her mouth. Emily heard anyway. Sharing what? Stacy opened 2 fingers so she could talk. Food. Stone soup, Emily said. We did that in Mrs. Zachary's class too. Sometimes Emily was a pain. She always got to do things first. Does that mean that she's in 1 grade higher than her, maybe? Right now, everyone was yelling in the classroom, me. Stacy jumped. She had forgotten where she was. What were they yelling about? Me, she yelled too. I know someone in Miss Rooney's class, said AJ. It's room 113, said Tawana. The invitation, Stacy thought. Someone had to bring them to Miss Rooney's room. She should be the one. My sister is in that room, Stacy said in a loud voice. She wanted to be sure Mrs. Zachary heard. Mrs. Zachary was looking around. All right, AJ, she said, take Robert with you. Oh, how do you think that made Stacy feel that Robert got to go? AJ marched to the front. So did Robert. They took the invitations. Stacy slumped down in her seat. No fair. She never got to do anything. She raised her hand. Can I get a drink of water? May I? Mrs. Zachary nodded her head. Stacy raced outside. They must not have a water fountain in their room like we do. AJ and Robert were fooling around the hall. How about I take the invitations for you? She asked them. She smiled to herself. Do you think they'll let her? What a nice people helper thing to ask. Was she doing it to be a people helper? Besides, she'd get to say hello to Emily. She'd say hello to her friend Beast, too. AJ wasn't paying attention, though. He was jumping from one tile to another. Robert was jumping, too. Too bad for you, Stacy said. She bent over to get a drink. She stood up with her mouth full. Watch out, AJ yelled. She's going to get us without water. Just then a hall monitor came down the hallway. It was a 6th grade boy, the big skinny one. He was wearing an orange strap across his shirt. We don't have hall monitors, do we? But in their school, they do. What do you think a hall monitor does? He had 1 gold monitor badge. He had a cranky face. Hey, you, he yelled at Stacy and the boys. The boys disappeared around the corner. Stacy was caught. She swallowed as much water as she could. Not all of it, though. Some of it dripped down on her neck. "What are you doing in the hall?" the monitor asked. "Getting water," said Stacy. "Helping people give out invitations?" "Helping people, mostly." He frowned. "Better get to your room before I report you." Stacy started back. She had never been reported. She looked over her shoulder. "What happens when you get reported?" "You're a fresh kid," he said. Stacy raced into her class. She'd have to ask Emily about being reported. One thing she knew, she never wanted that to happen to her. Oh, she just should have listened to her teacher who said she can't go deliver invitations. She tried to be sneaky. So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope you guys have a really good day and are able to get outside. And if you need me, I'm here for you. Bye, guys. I miss you.